Hello, welcome to this week's live stream. My name is Naz and I am the head coach of Flourish on Purpose Coaching, and I help women live the life that they really want and breaking free from the barriers and teach them self-mastery skills so they get on purpose and flourish. So I am going to look at my notes because this is a pretty deep topic, and what I want to do is not to make it like a huge discussion, but also give you things to take away. And I've made them hopefully as simple as I can, because there's only so much I can do, so much coaching I can do on a live stream, and I want to make this a coaching experience for you. So I'm going to share this week's coaching clients that I've had. There's been about 3 clients that I've had that we've worked with around their relationships and helped them change the way they felt about some of their relationships in their life. Okay, so we covered today, or at least this week, relationships like mother-in-law, okay, dad and brother. Okay, so now mother-in-law kind of clash grandma, okay, because obviously the client's mother-in-law is the grandma of her children. So we're going to cover that, and I might just use this client's story actually, or situation, as an example when I get through this, and my own as well, so you guys know that I've done this myself as well. So we're talking about relationships that are, mother, father, perhaps you could even relate to this as friends, cousins, most relationships actually, I think most of them anyway, you can. So if you find that you kind of like clash with a family member that you feel a victim with around, even you feel like they are always doing stuff to upset you or hurt you, and you might have this life of just an emotional roller coaster where it's up and down, and what you want to do is get into a state where they can be how they want to be, but you don't let it get to you. Okay, so you build resilience around this area. So that's what we want to do, and most of my videos lately have been around relationships, just how it works out, because it affects us a lot, really deeply. So we want to get empowerment over this, okay? So what we first want to do, okay, now let me tell you what a lot of coaches generally do, okay, and we don't want to do that. So they'll say, okay, I don't get on with my mother-in-law, okay, or my brother, okay, and then most coaches would say, okay, why is that? And then they'll just keep on going depth into why they don't get along with their brother, mother, whatever it is, whoever they have a problem with, and then they say, okay, so how can I find empowerment? So they go straight into moving on from why to how without knowing what's going on right now. So what we want to do, and this is what I did first thing, and this is what I want you to do as well, is whichever relationship you're struggling with, be that your brother, anyone, right? So start anyone. What is your internal representation of that relationship? What do you expect from that relationship? Because the only time, I might not say this yet, what is it? Okay, then we'll go into it in more depth. So if you're having problems with your brother or sister, what expectations do you have inside of you based on your experience, based on your programming, right, as what we say in coaching, your meta program values? What is a sister or brother or whatever for you, right? And list that down. What we want to do is acknowledge your internal representation of that relationship first, okay? So if you are not getting along with someone like perhaps your sister, I want you to think deeply, what is a sister for you? What expectations do you have of a sister? Right? Once you've done that, that's the first step, right? So you might want to pause this because I'm taking you through this. What are you seeing? Okay? What is actually going on? So if you are not getting on with your sister, what behaviours is she exhibiting that do not match with your internal representation of that relationship? Because this is what's happening. The only reason why you're clashing with them is because they don't match with your internal rep. internal representation, your expectation of that relationship, and you have got a image of that. So dive into it and then see what's going on. Okay, this is so powerful. This itself will open up so many avenues for you to get to connect with that person or be more open to it, because all they've done literally is they've not connected with you with that internal image. Okay, so I am talking about people that you just have little bickerings with and you probably get annoyed with them here and there. I'm not talking about major clashes, okay? I'm not talking about physical abuse or any sort of crazy stuff, yeah. Literally just little bickering and that you just wish you can get along with them a little bit more. So what is your internal representation of that relationship? What are you seeing from that person who happens to be a sister, brother, mother-in-law, whatever relationship it is that you want to fix? So one side we've got internal representation of that relationship that you have in your head, because we all do, and what's the reality, and look at the clashes that's going on. Just acknowledge it, that this is what I expect and this is not what's happening. Then I will not, so this is what happening, right? You are looking at your internal representation, and then you're looking at the person, and then you're judging that person who happens to be your brother, sister, whatever, grandma, mother-in-law, and you're saying to them unconsciously, you don't realize you're doing this, that you do not fit in my world. You do not behave the way I want you to behave. You do not behave the way I have a representation inside of me of you. So this is the clash, really, the fundamental clash. That this is what I think you should be. You are not doing that. You are not good enough for me. You are not a good sister. You are not a good mother-in-law. You are not a good brother, whatever, right? Uncle, auntie, whatever you want to put there, cousin, okay? You are not that. So because you have this, you are not that good, you are not a good sister, perception, whatever they do is going to, whatever positives they may do as well as the negatives, you're not going to see them, okay? Because your perception is like, you're not good enough. You're not good enough. Doesn't matter what you do, you're not good enough. I've done this myself. I've done this with clients, especially this week. And when I asked them, okay, so what is good about this person that you do not really get along with right now? They couldn't tell me. I can't find one. So we I had to talk them through it, and they picked up loads at the end. But initially, it was really hard for them to dive in deep into their unconscious mind, where you store all these memories, and pick up good things about that person. And they weren't what should I say, they weren't huge things, but they were as well, right? When we dived in deep to say, okay, so what's good about that person that you don't really like right now, because they don't match with your internal representation, give me some good points about them. So we went and we stacked this up. So this is what you're going to have to do next, is what part of their behaviours, characteristics, do you want to celebrate? Right? Because let's face it, you've got this relationship, you can't completely break ties with them, you might live with them, you might have to meet them every so often. What part of them do you want to celebrate? What do you want to bring to the table? This is your table, and you can pick whatever characteristics, whatever behaviours that they have that you like, and celebrate that. That's number 2 you're going to have to do. Okay, it's not, if you do this in stages, it's pretty easier to do. Initially, you're going to feel really reluctant because you've anchored a negative emotion to them and you don't want to think good about them. But when you do this internal rep, and then you look at them, and then you look at really what you've done is just say, hey, you're not good enough. You're not a good brother, you're not a good sister, because you don't fit into my world. And then pick what you want to pick from them. Because I'm sure you can pick one thing and then you'll pick another thing. And what we did with the client is we managed to pick, I think, about 6 or 7 things, just in a few minutes. And this was the same client that said, I can't think of anything. She doesn't give me any value of this person that she's having a little conflict, well, not a little, but a big conflict with inside of her mind. But she was able to pick 6, and I think she could have went on longer. And there were really 6 deep ones. They were really good deep ones, and they were huge as well, and that she couldn't see, because in her mind, this is what that relationship is supposed to be, but I'm not getting that, therefore she's not good enough. She's not a good whatever, right? Whatever that relationship is. But because we switched it around and she was able to give me about 6 in a few minutes, very quickly, and the really, really good ones that her mind was deleting because the other ones were overpowering her relationship with this person. So I said, okay, so what you've done second is, what do you want to bring? Okay, this person has this goodness and this much negativity, okay? What positiveness do you want to bring to your table that aligns with you, okay? That she does for you, perhaps, or he does for you, depending on what relationship you want to work on. That is so unique to them, perhaps. That is amazing about them. Tell yourself 6 or 10. Keep going, go more as you can, and the more you have, the better for you. And then, as you're going to celebrate them, stack them up. That's number 3. You're stacking them up. So you found one good thing about this person, find another good thing, and just dwell in those things, okay? Dwell in those things. Because what you're slowly doing is you're breaking away from the negative emotions that you attach to that person. How many times do you see a person that you don't particularly like, okay? But because it's them, it's like, oh, she's back again. Your eyes are rolling, right? Your body language is saying everything. You don't like them. That's what's happened. What's happened is, over time, your central nervous system, if you like, has just anchored this negative emotion about this person that they can't even see anything good. Okay, even if there was something good, they can't see it because that's how they've anchored it. So when you are stacking these good qualities about this person up, which is your number 3, you are breaking away from the negative emotion that you've anchored to that person. So you're not going to say, oh, she's coming again. You're going to just be open about it, okay? And then when you do this, you're slowly going to be literal about that person. What do I mean about literal? It's literally just taking them as they come, okay? So if they get up in the morning and they give you whatever they give you that, and then at the end of the day, you let it go. You let it go again, because we have the potential to change, and not many people even know that. So I'm telling you this, okay? Everybody can change. I mean, I've grown in the last 6 years that I would be pretty disappointed if somebody was judging me based on who I was 10 years ago. Okay, so if you are growing yourself, you should know that people can grow. That I need to take them literally. You're not the same. You're not the same person as what you like. If your body isn't the same as what it was a year ago, because your body cells are always dying and the new ones are coming, and then by the full year's finished, you've got a new body, right? Because the cells are different now. The cells are new. So how can open your mind up with people as well, because you can, and they'll start responding the way you kind of want them to more, and your mind's just going to be fixed on more of their positives and less of the negatives that they are giving, that they're bringing to the table. I've done this. I have literally done this, and I can say it works. Okay, I did this with a very close relationship of mine, and I always disliked this person because I thought he's not the person I want him to be. Like, these I won't have to say who it is. This is a public post. I'm just going to say, because I'm sure he knows as well. So it was my brother, and I had this internal representation of how a brother should be, and then I saw him and I thought, you don't match my internal rep. You don't match who I want you to be, so you're not good enough. You're not a good brother. And I remember having an argument with him about maybe 10 years ago or 8 years ago, saying that you haven't done anything for me. You haven't done anything for me. And we didn't speak for several months. He was really upset with me. And but I had to let it out because I felt he didn't do enough for me. But when I started work on myself and I started to see him as he is and not how I want him to be, OMG, it was a whole different shift. I started to see the best in him. I started to see the things that he's done for me that I was blinded to because I was just fixed on this internal representation of a brother, that he didn't match it, that means he's not good enough. Let's just complain about it all day and every day. So that was my pattern for years growing up. It was only, like I said, maybe 6 years ago that I started to change that, or maybe a little bit less, maybe 5 years, I don't know, but it was more recent. And all I did was just took my brother for how he is, and he is amazing. And I'm not just saying that, but I started to see his goodness. I mean, he used to take us, he used to walk 5 days a week. He would walk from my house to the place where we used to learn Arabic. I think that must have been a good 3 to 4 miles a day walking just to get us there and back, right? Dad used to work, Mum never used to get the house that much, and he used to do that 5 days a week, walk about 4 miles. Maybe more actually, because he used to drop us off, pick us up, drop us off, walking, maybe 6-7 miles a day, 5 times a week. Okay, so he's taught, because of him, I've learnt Arabic. I've been able to read the Quran. So, and I deleted that out of my head. How ungrateful was I, just because I decided to look at him in the way that I wanted, just because I wanted him to be the way I wanted him to be. Because I used to compare him with other brothers. I used to compare him with how my mum's brother was and how my cousin's brother was and all this other stuff. And he wasn't good enough because he wasn't the same as them. But he was so much more different, but way better than what most brothers could ever do. Until date, I don't know any brother who would do that for their sibling. Yes, parents would walk miles and miles to get their children educated, but not a brother. Okay, I've never seen a brother do that for his siblings, because it's huge. And the work he's done, there's so many good qualities in him. I could go on and on. Like he serves the community. He spends a Saturday out to serve in the community, voluntary. Every other day he goes to someone's house to help them. So he's got so many more qualities, but he's not a typical brother. Like, he won't go out and take us out for meals, which is what I wanted, or he wouldn't attend parties, but he doesn't need to, right? Things like that. That's what I wanted. But he has his own greatness, and no one else can really match that, because the people I used to compare him with can't even do they can't even do a percentage of what he does. So you see how I made the shift, and I can see so much goodness in him, because he's no longer in my head. I'm not comparing him. I'm just taking him as he is, and it's amazing. So number 3 was stack their positive characteristics that you like, or what they've done for you, memories that you have, and you'll find so many, because you open up that mind which is literally blocked. You suppressed it. So keep on doing that. You might want to do this daily with about this person. So this can be your gratitude journaling, depending on how serious you are about working on this relationship. This might be enough. This exercise itself might be enough. You might want to do this once a week, once a month, just to refresh yourself again. Or if you feel like you're going back into that victim mindset, do this then. Stacking up their goodness, okay, and just checking your internal rep. Is that still there? Okay. Then number 4, because now you're taking them how they are, what type of relationship do you want with them? Okay, so let's go into my example again. So I wanted my brother to take us out for meals and enjoy going to parties and just have a laugh with us, okay? That's not him. I was trying to make him be a different person. So based on the person he is, what can you take? Like, what can you give? What can you take and what can you give? What relationship do you want from him or her now that you know that's how they are? So for me, like, just having a text message once in a while is enough for me. Like, I don't need to speak to him every single day. Okay? But that's what I wanted back then. So what can you take? What's healthy now? What is the healthy relationship that is good for you as well, that it does, aligns with your core values and they're happy as well? So, for example, I'm going to go to my client's example. The relationship that she wanted to work on with the person that she wanted to work with, she knows that she can't have a deep conversation with them, like a personal conversation with them. Okay, so what she said was she can talk to them 10 minutes a day about something that they're thinking about, they're worried about maybe, or they're interested in, so they can build rapport again. Okay, so instead of talking about deep things where you need advice or you need congruency, perhaps she's going to talk about things 10 minutes a day that matters to them. That is something she can handle, and that is something that will give that person value as well. Okay, and that's their new start of the relationship. 4 things just to recap So you can do this yourself. I really want you to do this so you'll see a huge difference in your relationship that you currently might feel that you're a victim of. Number one is check your internal representation of that relationship, how it should be, and then check what it is actually, and then just have this self-check. You know, are you making that person, are you judging that person based on what you want them to be and not what they actually are? Number two is then what characteristics, what behaviours can you do you want to take from that person? And then celebrate, okay? Start stacking it. So that's number three. Stack all the positive behaviours, characteristics, memories that you might have had with them that you can like delete out of your mind. Bring it back up. Okay, get at least 6, 7, 10, keep on going. Get at least 6, minimum 6. You'll start seeing the shift. And you might want to do this regularly, depending on the person. You might want to do this once a month, whatever you want, but do it as often as you want to do it. And then number 4, what type of relationship can you have with them? How often do you want to see them? How long does the conversation need to be? What can you do for them? You know, just smile at them, maybe that's enough for you to do for that day if you don't want to talk to them, because you find like you can't get a deep conversation with them that's genuine. What kind of communication can you get with them? Like I said with my brother, we just text each other once, I don't know, a while, and that's enough. That's enough. I don't want to expect anything else. Okay, as long as he's happy, he no longer comes into that internal rep. I take him how he is, and I celebrate his best characteristics. And everyone's open to growth, so look at them, check on them, and I'll tell you, you'll start seeing more of what you like about them and less of what you don't. You know, the law of attraction will work in a way that you won't even witness the stuff that's not aligned with you, because you're so focused on their good, and because you're so focused on their good, you get more good back. Okay, I read in a book that John Maxwell wrote that if you look at somebody as a 10 out of 10, like they're completely perfect, they will start behaving like that. So this will hopefully help you. Let me know in the comments if this has helped, and if you've done this and tried this, come back into the comments. I will read them and I'll respond to them myself. Thank you so much for catching up, and I will catch you later.